Hi, I'm Dr. Minor. Today we'll be talking about irrigation method and design. As usual, there are various types of irrigation methods. We have surface irrigation, subsurface irrigation, and also drip sprinkler irrigation. Well, surface irrigation first just is a method of applying water on the surface. As you all know, if you go to Kadawa, you will see surface irrigation method. Surface irrigation, even though we consider it isn't outdated, but it still remains the amount of areas, large areas are under surface irrigation. Because when we talk of irrigation, surface irrigation remains the most irrigated irrigation method used all across the world. About 90%, so to say, areas around the world are by this method, and that is to say that surface irrigation is still relevant. But in our training, because to promote sustainable sprinkler irrigation, applying water under pressure, and this type of irrigation, about 5% of irrigated areas are by this method, meaning that we still have a long way to do or long way to go under sprinkler irrigation. Now, drip or trickle irrigation. This is applying water slowly at low volume, at the rates that is almost close to the crop water requirement. And this is what make sprinkler drip irrigation distinct from other irrigation methods, because it has a very high efficiency irrigation relating to nearly 90% efficiency. In surface irrigation, it has efficiency of about 40-45%. So meaning that you can see there's a lot of losses happening under surface irrigation, and that is why we term it unsustainable irrigation method, the most unsustainable irrigation method. It causes a lot of problems. It destroys the soil through salinity. It also a lot amount of water is needed, used to produce crop using surface irrigation, and this is really very disturbing. So in order to make irrigation sustainable, we introduce or promote a drip irrigation system, a trickle irrigation system, because under this method, about 90% efficiency, meaning that 90% of the water applied is being utilized, only 10% goes as a loss. So this is really pretty good, especially where you are paying for water. Now, subsurface irrigation. This is the flooding water underground and allowing it to come up by capillary to crop roots. So this is not very common, but in most places where residual moisture do exist, or water and the groundwater table come close to the surface, this is where this method of irrigation is being applied. Now, let's look at the schematic diagram of the drip irrigation systems. We have the surface of flooding, and under surface of flooding there are three different types, or let's say 6. We have the basin, that is primarily there are 3: basin, border, and furrow. So under basin we have 2 methods of basin irrigation, that is level basin and graded basin. Okay, level basin means that the basin has zero slope, that while graded basin, basin has some level of slope, that when you introduce water from one side of the basin, it goes down to the other side of the basin. And usually this used where the basin is very large, but for smaller basin, I think level. Now we have also border irrigation. Now border irrigation are also classified. We have the level border and the graded border. Then comes the third one, which is the furrow irrigation, which is the level furrow, graded furrow, and contour furrow. These are different types. I will show you maybe down the lecture. I will show you some pictures of this type of surface flooded irrigation. Now, this is still for surface flooded irrigation. Now, sprinkler irrigation. Under sprinkler irrigation, we have the portable type, the permanent type, and semi-permanent and self-moved type of sprinkler irrigation. Well, this will mean, a big sprinkler systems, that the portable ones are those that can be movable. You can move it from one place to another, usually not for a big area of land. Now there is a permanent one. Those are the one fixed, in the field, in the form of sprinklers, with with this
pipes.
is the end of the first episode of this lecture.